Good evening, everyone, and Jai Hind. I am Major Muhammad Ali Shah. I have the proud privilege and honor to be in conversation with a very, very illustrious senior of mine who is from the SS 61 course. I am SS 76. So you can imagine SS 61, sir, हमारे senior hai. And sir was commissioned into the EME and he did his attachment with the Gurkha Rifles. And thereafter, of course, immediately after his bios, he opted for the special forces. He's had an illustrious career in the 9 special forces, the para commandos, and of course, he is a recipient of the Sena Medal for gallantry. He is a Kargil war veteran where he suffered. He had a very, very bad fall in a shelling, and he suffered about 75% disability. It was 100% initially. He recovered 75%, and then he recovered further on. And he is a very, very brave, illustrious officer. When I was in academy, we had heard stories about, Major Prince Joes, and today I am in awe of Sir. I'm watching him face to face. He is right now doing exceedingly well in the corporate sector in Bahrain, and he is. It brings me back to my old memories of Bahrain, where we crossed Dammam, the longest bridge, and we came over to Bahrain. But let's further on. Let's go on in conversation with Major Prince Jose. Sir, Jai Hind, and thank you very much for taking your time, sir.
Yes, same. Yeah, you see, nice catching up with you. It's the same spirit that we share. It's good catching up with you. Yes, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, let's talk about, you got commissioned to EME. That's a very, very technical branch, but you opted for the special forces, the 9 special forces. And, it reminds me again, you must be knowing definitely many officers who were from the signals, who joined these special forces, and then, and so tell me what motivated you to opt for the special forces, sir?
See, I'm basically I'm from Sainik School, Karakotam. That's Kerala, Sainik School, Kerala, and there we had our senior named Captain Paul Bastin.
Are, yes, 9SF, sir, 9SF.
Yeah, 9SF, 9SF. You see, yeah, he was like an icon there because while I was there doing my schooling there back in science school, uh, he had come down to Cochin for a deep sea diving feat, and then in one of those exercises, uh, we lost him. So that time there was lots of talk about the Commando battalion, the battalion that he belonged to, and the commandos, the type of operations that they do, and there was lots of aura that I could sense, and I badly wanted to follow his footsteps. And he also happened to be from my place, and he happened to have the same namesake of my own brother, Paul. So and our families knew each other, so I had an affinity to follow his steps and join ended up in the same very unit that he belonged to. So that's how I wanted to be in 9.
That's very
So
nice, sir.
yeah, even after I got commissioned, I actually got commissioned in the AME, so I wanted it for 9. I wrote a DO to CEO. My CEO in those days was uh, Colonel John D. Brito. I wrote a DO to him
Of course.
requesting for a promotion, and then I cracked it, and I was there with 9 per SF. Yeah.
Wow, sir, wow. Sir, since Captain Paul, again a legendary officer, and you were very inspired by him and you knew him. So why didn't you opt for the SF while in academy? Why opted for EME in academy, sir?
Yeah, see, you know how the branches are given in academy. You can have your choice, but then if there is no takers for other branches, so since I was technically qualified, they put me in EME. Yeah, that was how it happened. So okay, I
So,
took
so
it on
had
my
you,
stride. I did not give up my pursuit to be in 9, so I uh, went in this way about it.
sir, had you also filled up one of your options in academy as SF apart from EME?
Yeah, I filled it up. I filled it up. Obviously, I filled it up. I did not put him in my option. I did not put him in my option.
So, so you
I,
know, when I joined the OTA, I was working with Genpact in Delhi at that time. And that time, one of my colleagues in Genpact was uh, Gaurav Grewal. Now,
uh,
he joined the special forces later on, and he was 6 months senior to me in academy in OTA. Yeah, and so in academy, when I was in with Genpact, I met Brigadier Shashi Khanna. He's from nine, in fact, and one of
okay.
the so he motivated me to better join the OTA and join particularly 9SF. Don't go anywhere else. So I joined OTA specifically कि भाई मैं SF join करूंगा और मैं and I will join 9SF. That also was
Sounds,
very clear. But
yeah.
due course of the academy, after so many restrictions and punishment and agada, somewhere one panda changes and my battalion commander was from the artillery and I had parental claim for the artillery. So I joined the artillery. So, but I have always been in awe of the special forces and the Maroon Beret. And the closest I've come to that is in a web series called Avrodh, where
Oh.
I did wear the Maroon Berets. So
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'd heard a lot about you from our common friend, Major Rajawat. And Rajawat, he speaks very high of you. And then I've also watched some of your stints, acting stints. It's commendable, man. I mean, commendable, and it's wonderful how you have, donned the uniform, and now you're donning on the other mantle, the acting. Profession, and it's also career that's coming out very well. Kudos to you, kudos to you.
That's
Yeah.
That's very sweet of you, sir. Coming from you, it really, really means a lot, sir. It really means a lot.
Man,
Yeah,
we are performers. We are go-getters. We can achieve anything. Yeah, if we set our mind to. Yeah, I know you. And we were in
absolutely,
fact
sir. Absolutely.
we were
So let's
talking
talk
about the
about your
same
role,
thing. Yeah.
sir. Your role in the Kargil war, sir. In fact, we know about the injury which left you partly disabled, and which later on you hung up your boots later on, sir. So let's talk about because it was a very, very, very heroic deed. In fact, after losing consciousness, after losing, I mean, your senses, yet fighting on and giving orders. Let's talk about your role in the Kargil conflict, sir.
Yeah, see, I mean, those days, uh, I was in Nine Pares of that's a platform to reckon with. It's all about the platform that you get, that decides your level of, the performance. You see, I'll start with that actually. Having said that, see, uh, I did two assaults, in Kargil war. One was on Sulu and one was on Santo. And Santo was a part of the major plan, strategic plan to to destroy the mother base of Pakistan, which was in Gultari mother base. You see, and we were tasked to capture Santo as a part of the plan. And then while we were going up the mountain slope, we hit across an ice wall. So the column, the stick which was coming up along with me, we couldn't go that easy unless and until someone fix up the rope on the slope. So I had done mountaineering before, and I was fixing up the slope on the ice wall. Um and it involved technical climbing. So I was driving in the pitoons and passing the rope through that, and then the carabiners, and then the crampons. I was eating the ice with the crampons, standing on that, and then reaching out higher with the ice axe, and then placing the pitoons back again. So it was going on, and then in the mountain, the daylight comes out very early. So we kind of getting daylighted, and the enemy spotted us. So they called for the artillery shell. You see, one such shell just landed. The artillery shell. It has got a killing zone very vast. It one of such shell just landed 10 meters from me. Actually, it belly landed, so it didn't explode. These are impact fuses, so it has to explode on impact. So I was dangling in the air, and then it fell in my close vicinity. It didn't explode because it landed a belly. And then we continue fixing the rope on the slope, and then one such shell fell among us, and then the pressure only threw me off the slope. I was hit by a splinter laceration of the upper lips. Since I was being ripped apart off the slope, the shrapnel did not come into my skull. It went tangentially to the skull, so saving my life. You see, otherwise it was a cross call. It was my Trump moment. I keep saying it's my Trump moment in Kargil war. The bullets grazing me and leaving my skull. So uh, the pressure only threw me off the slope. I was hit by the splinter as well. I fell down 300 feet down along the slope. And my buddy, he came up to tell me truth is the training and the brotherhood that we enjoy. He came up to me, he shook me up. So it took me it took him half an hour to reach up till me. He shook me up, and then I revived. I was back into consciousness. Then I suffered a bout of 15 minutes of memory loss. So thereafter, somehow I revived my memory. I got my memory back, and then I joined the war efforts. The same very shell, it took 13 of us down, and then so there was several of us who were wounded as well. So by this time, we were being pinned down from the top by small arms as well. So we had to take a decision as to what should be our future actions, immediate actions, with regard to our immediate actions. You see, and then we took a decisions to go up and call for our own artillery shell on the same feature. So both that time of the period, both uh, enemy artillery as well as Indian artillery were bombarding the same height, and then in guise of it, we went in. Captured Santo top for us. We were also able to direct artillery shell onto the Gultari mother base, which was our target given. And then that day, we also had the task of moving out the wounded and the dead back to the base camp there in Pathar Post, and then it was all uh, part of history now. So there, eventually, I also went to the Mother Bay, the base camp, uh, Pathar Post, and I got myself treated. I was given stitches and medicines and pumps of medicine shots and everything. And then the same team went up for another assault on uh, Sulu uh, 1 week from there. And that time we were also joined by Major Sudhi Walia. Major Sudhi Walia is, the most legendary and decorated soldier. I'm blessed that I could even I
There's a
could
book also on him called Rambo. Rambo.
I could see him within my eyes. I could touch him. I could operate with him. This has been one of the biggest blessing in my life. And he joined us. He actually led us into uh, assault on Sulu. And in Sulu also, we had our share of eventualities. Four of us died, but sheer God's daredevil and courage of Major Sudhi Walia, we captured Sulu as well for India that day. And uh, Major Suri Bali was cited for a Kirti Chakra for his actions in Sulu. Uh, but then after this operation, we were deployed back in militancy operations, and there in Upoda in Hafruda forest actually. Uh, we had an operation in which we killed, we neutralized 13. In which the Major Sudhir Walia got an AC posthumous. You know that. Yeah. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
again another legendary operation which I could be part of, and I was blessed that I was with Major Sudhir Walia.
So, so I had the honor of interacting with General VP Malik. In fact, he was the chief in
Yeah.
that time in the Kargil War. And in fact, he was telling us that Mayor Walia, when he was his ADC, the security ADC from the Paras, and he
Yes. Yes.
volunteered to go back to the Paltan.
Yes. Yes.
And the Kargil War was on at that time, in fact. And so he went back to his Paltan after doing ADC to General Malik, and where the Ashok Chakra, I mean, where posthumous, where the operation that he did was awarded to him. And when the way he described him, being very well read, highly intellectual, and always volunteering, always going forward, and so it is something which, and in fact, his book Rambo is there with me. In fact, which Colonel Kale has written. In fact, so that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
something. Uh, so in fact, you have worked with, you have
Uh,
served, you are a legend. You have served with so many legends. In fact, as a nine is 9SF, the name that it holds and the reputation that it holds, the bravest of the brave, which they say. And that there was an operation by your name, Operation Prince.
yeah. Yeah.
We throw some light on that, sir.
Yeah. This was an operation in which I got my Sena medal. There was an operation which was named after me. We were coming, raiding a hideout, and then we killed five militants in that. Uh, so this was again in the area called Afruda. Those days, uh, they had taken deep roots. In that area, and on their radio conversation we could intercept that they used to call that South Kashmir among themselves to cheer themselves up, you see, the militants. So which meant that they thought that they enjoyed a upper hand in those areas. So we went deep inside the place, and again, this was a meticulously planned and executed operation. Actually, mm, uh, we had we had a int. Okay, I'll only say that we had an int which gave us that there was a hideout, and then we practiced the same thing. We set up the same kind of scenario there in the other side of the forest where we were plonked, and then we made a separate teams, one acting as the militants and one acting as the raiding party of commandos, and so that both so by doing this, both would get a real-time uh, feedback as to how the other would think. When you're stepping in the uh, boots of the militant, you think a militant, you can perceive what's the kind of battlecraft which is required from the other side. And when you are coming down raiding, then you know what's the kind of battlecraft that you need to achieve to maintain the surprise, and where actually the surprise goes up in the balloon. So this kind of actually we did this kind of a practice, and then we went in for the final operation, and we achieved results. and also she, I mean, rather than doing uh, mindless, you know,
Jungle bashing.
domination of the area. What we did was we did the route analysis of the entire place. We saw we identified on maps, as to where the militant can have an hideout in those places. We identified all that, and then we concentrated on to those places which had, of course, it needs to have a route, it needs to have a water source, it needs to have atom channels coming in, and then the track analysis you do, you can see, you yourself is a soldier, you can come to know uh, if somebody has passed through a route. So that is track analysis that we typically do in the forces. So we had a definite information that we are going to hit. So we practiced it, and then we executed it. So it was all well executed, and it went like a lubricated machinery. It all ended up in big success. Yeah, that was
Listen, that's so
operations
nice.
actually. Yeah, yeah.
Sir, so, and you have seen the technical branch EME, be it for a very brief while, but you have seen it. You have seen the infantry, that's the Gurkha rifles, and Gurkhas are very, very brave soldiers. In fact, as Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw once said, if a man says he's not scared of dying, he's either
Yeah.
lying or he's a Gurkha. And
Uh-huh.
you have seen these special forces. The closest I have come towards Gurkhas is when I went on deputation to the Assam Rifles. We had a lot of
Okay.
people from those soldiers from Nepal and from the northeast part of India there. So that throw some light about on your experience in the infantry with the Gurkha Rifles as well, sir.
In while I was in Sri Lanka, so those guys are out of the world. You see, they are mountain goats. so, so, so proficient they are with their mountaineering skills actually. So it's thanks to Sri Lanka that I had whatever the inputs I had on mountaineering. It's thanks to. While I was in Sri Lanka, I was in Vaisakhi, and I did 5 Trans-LOC recce's, you see, patrollings. So while I was at it, I became an expert in mountaineering and then climbing skills. And while I was at it, we were tasked to go for an exercise for a mountaineering exercise in Arunachal Pradesh. I forgot the peak's name. Okay. So and I was a part of the team, and there was once I had to complete a patrolling and then join the mountaineering party. Mount Corichan, yeah, yeah. We went for the mountaineering in Mount Corichan. So I was to go complete a patrolling and then go join Mount Corichan team. So so I had to travel light, and I had to travel with few people to come uh, to complete the patrolling and join the main party. So I took a risk, and very unprofessional kind of way. Just me and my buddy, we peeled off from the main troops who was doing the patrolling, and then we just were on our way uh, to join the mountaineering party there in mm, uh, for the Mount Gorgon expedition. So while on our way back, it started snowing, and all the tracks in the mountains got deposited with the snow, so we couldn't see. And then since we are traveling light, we were not carrying enough ration, and then we were not with goggles, nothing. So that's when my buddy again, a Gurkha soldier. Oh my God! I mean, the way he bailed us out. He even he was stuck in there with me, so he bailed us out. How we did the, found out the track, and how we found out how to stay alive for a couple of days on our way to join the main party who was going for the mountaineering expedition. So by the time I reached them, uh, I had two conditions. One was I was suffering from hypo. Second, my eyes was gone snow blind. So I
Oh,
had to be lowered. Yeah. So I was given some steroids and all, injection by the RMO there, Captain Sakia. So, and then I was lowered down in altitude to recoup. But thanks to my luck, it snowed heavily those days, and the party couldn't go up. So I recovered, and then I joined back them in due course of time. So uh, those days while I was in 311 GR, they made me inside out a mountaineer. There is lots of stories we share. Yeah, with the stint that I had in 311 GR. Yeah. So that came in handy when I was fixing up rope on the slope in Kargil. So I knew exactly what to do there, because when once we hit up the ice wall, I exactly knew what to do.
sir, sir. So I was in a similar conversation with Captain Albert Lewis, 99 SF again.
Ah,
Very, very
yeah,
dear
yeah,
friend of mine, in fact. And he's SS-74, I'm 76. So we've spent some lovely times in Bombay together.
yeah.
And so he was telling me how his technical expertise, since he was a signals officer, came handy in SF as well. So, how
Yes, yes.
did you apply your technical expertise and knowledge in operations in special forces, sir?
See, not much, see, like those were days when we got this uh, Garmin GPS. See, now we do have GPS on every smartphones. Uh, those days,
Those
those,
days, I remember the GPS. The GPS.
yeah, man. I mean, those days we were only with military compass, you see, and then uh, those days. Uh, if I remember correctly, RCO went
Just a minute,
to.
just a minute. Our
Yeah.
viewers will think GPS means like on GPS when they put in the GPS. It's
No,
not
no.
that simple.
Not this,
Our
not
GPS
this
was like
GPS.
and a compass. Yes,
Yes, yes,
yes, sir.
yes, yes. You see, I mean, yeah. So uh, that was the time when we had. I mean, we had graduated from military compass to Gramin. Gramin had given us, supplied us uh, the GPS. Okay, and then the wake point had to be set and all those things. You might, I wouldn't know. Yeah, after that it was phased out, so you might not have even used it. So we were using that in Kagilpur. So when this came, so as a technical guy with technical bent, I was there, given this equipment and its manual and everything. Then I used to grapple every day, yeah, sitting at night, how to put the track points, wake points, how to navigate with this new device that we've got, and then also teaching our set of commandos how well we do it. But then they are all masters in it. You see, I mean, they wouldn't require this. They can just see the mountain features and just walk along a wall by themselves. They are just so big experts. In map reading. All the commandos, in fact, you see, you know how uh, they are trained. You know that. You know how they are trained. Yeah. So, I mean, the map reading is not a big problem for them. But then during Kargil War, yeah, we had this. And then I remember sitting down with a manual and trying to, explore the different functionalities of that device which we had in our hand. And those days, yes, again, it was showing an error of 10, 20 meters, which was set by the satellite or something. There was those, yeah, you remember all those, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, sir,
So
I
that
remember
was one thing.
you
And then,
maybe
yeah,
you
and
remind
then
me of the
of course,
old GK in campus days, sir.
yeah. And those were also the days when we had the night fights coming for uh, AK-47s. So that
Yes,
was
sir.
the first time we were using night sights on AK-47. So maybe from a distance of 200 meters, you can see a rabbit hopping uh, at night, at pitch dark night. So it was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. And then the radio sets which came, yeah, it had a massive range. I forgot
Tadiram, Tadiram.
no, 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 no. Some VHF set. We had a special VHF set. I forgot the name. Uh, we could speak from the heights of Kargil to Sri Lanka.
Oh wow, oh
that,
wow.
that much range was there. I mean, and it was lightweight. It was very lightweight. It was not even the weight of ANPRC. It was lesser than that. It's fantastic set. And then we had iridium and everything. Iridium handsets which we had. So, I mean, that was it. Yeah.
So, so after you hung up your boots, in fact, you how was it to start afresh in the civil streets after being a hardcore special forces para commando? Yes, sir.
No, it was it was, and it's the same. You see, I mean, Linus taught all of us one thing, to stay grounded. Stay grounded. You don't take any hitbacks in life. You see, I mean, stay grounded. So? That's actually taken me places. You stay grounded. And there is no others. This thing that stay grounded, make the platform. That's the best way that you can get to jettison yourself ahead. So even in the corporate sector that I've seen, uh, a few things that is associated with soldiers uh, that we can easily practice, and then that they expect also. By now the corporate world has seen lots of us 4Gs moving out to the corporate world, and they have already assessed and made opinion about us, which is more or less, I mean, correct. We're all go-getters. We'll come out with the results, come what may, and uh, anything uh, we won't shy away from taking decisions, whatever, and we'll be loyal to the team, and sacrifice with a ticking brain is our hallmark. We sacrifice is there readily given, but that's not without the logic or without a ticking brain. Okay, the brain is always ticking and associated with the sacrificing this thing. The team get empowered, the team get enriched. So these are the hallmarks of the 4Gs that find their way into the corporate, and everywhere we go, we make a mark for ourselves.
Sir, sir,
Yeah.
I sincerely thank you for your time. I know you have been very, very generous, and I've been wanting to do this interview with you, and so you gave a time of Friday because Friday in the Gulf is like Sunday for us in India. And sir, thank you so much. And before we part, before I let you go, and I let you enjoy your Sunday evening, your Friday evening, rather, I would say, sir, any last message you would like to throw out for our viewers in the universe, sir?
Yeah, I mean, see, uh, uh, we've got a wonderful uh, defense forces, uh, standing in for our country in each way. So, as citizens, it's our duty to behave in a way and to take actions in a way that we are worthy of their services and the sacrifices that they make. And India is doing it in a great fashion. There is no doubting the fact. India loves its soldiers and keep loving them. Let's be the reason why, let each one of us be the reason why the soldier would do what he has to do at the borders or at the face of the flying bullets. Jai Hind.
Ab- So thank you very much, sir. Jai Hind, sir. My regards to Rajavat. In fact, he's a very great guy, and so
Yeah, yeah.
and to your family. So
Exactly.
right, sir. Right,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. See
Bye
you.
bye,
Ciao,
sir.
ciao. Yeah, yeah. See you,
Bye,
see you,
sir.
see
A
you.
great
Bye.
time talking with you, sir. Bye, sir. Jai Hind, sir.